Hello everybody, Yasmini here. Really excited to have you guys here and tuning in to this video. It is a follow-up from a story that I did on Instagram, and this story went deep and I was like, I need to expand on this. I need to share more on this topic. So the topic was around men using women as a dumping ground for their stress, emotional traumas, for whatever it is that they've got going on in their life. They do that through sex. So if you are a woman and you are experiencing some type of pain after or during sex, I really invite you to stick out this whole video, listen to what I have to share, and just like reflect on the pieces of information that I'm going to bring up, and just check in for yourself if that rings true for you. And men, if you are listening to this, hear what I have to say. This is really important. This is something that is not spoken about. I really believe that we need to be looking at sex and intimacy on a whole nother level. And I'm about to share with you why. The masculine needs to release, right? The masculine wants to feel empty. The masculine wants to be in the nothingness of life. And the feminine is the creative life force, right? We want to fill our houses with beautiful things and have paintings and have like candles everywhere and just have like an environment that's full. And the masculine is the opposite. So you'll notice that men will live in an environment like minimal. Men love minimal. They're just like nothingness is better for them, right? And so when you apply this to sex, men have been programmed and conditioned through masturbation, through porn, to empty out all of their stress through ejaculation. Think about, you know, a man in your life or a sexual experience that you've had where the man just wants to get off. He just wants to come, you know, it's just like, just release and then just be in that like nothingness and that bliss, right? And the feminine, often we as women will feel really disconnected by that. We want to touch, we want to cuddle, we want to almost get closer after being opened up through sex. And so what happens is the men have been conditioned and programmed to use our bodies as a dumping ground. Now they don't know any different, and you know, this isn't an attack on men. This is simply, we've not been taught this. This is not spoken about. Like, this information is literally not something that we openly discuss. Men will have been programmed through porn, through, you know, mainly porn really, and just through practicing masturbation as their way of getting off, right? So they're hardwired this way. And then what happens is masturbation then turns into sex, and it's exactly the same for men, right? It's just the same experience. And women also don't know any better. Like, I only over the last couple of years have really started to unpack this, and I've started to look at it in a completely different way, versus just using it as like a way of getting off or a way to have a release or, you know, whatever. You've got a man that is using your body as a stress relief tool. That's going to have an effect on you, right? It's got to. If someone's projecting anger onto you, that's going to affect you in some way. So if you've got a man that's constantly stressed out, constantly pressured at work, constantly going through something, and he wants to have sex a lot and just kind of like release all the time, into you, onto you, around you, whatever, that's going to have some type of effect on you. In my experience, what that feels like is after or during sex, I will get severely bloated, like to the point of looking like I'm 5 to 6 months pregnant. So what's happened is there's been an energetic exchange. The man has released all of his crap basically onto me, and then my womb, which the female womb actually processes everything that's around her. So if you're in an environment, for instance, it's highly stressful, a lot going on, whatever, the womb is going to be processing that information, and it's going to be processing that energy. And so if you don't know these things, you just end up storing it in the body as your own. It's not yours, but you end up storing it as your own. And so as women, right, we are experiencing polycystic ovaries, we're experiencing endometriosis, we're experiencing reproductive issues to the point of it being like a pandemic in itself. And we're not understanding why. And in my belief system, I believe that it's a correlation to us not being able to, or being aware of the energy exchange that's taking place when we have sex, the trauma that gets stored in the womb, and so on and so forth. And so my experience was I kept getting bloated and I didn't know what was going on. And as I started to cultivate and as I started to learn to move energy and use energy and also transmute energy back into the earth, right, I was able to like move that energy that I'd taken on from partners back into the earth, out of my body, so it wasn't getting stored in my body, creating issues later on. This is something that I feel will be a really, really big and powerful thing for all of you, especially you women out there that are experiencing pain or discomfort during or after sex. It's an energy exchange. Like, I believe everything, you know, that we experience happens in the energetic fields and then gets compressed into a physical matter, quantum physics, right? If you think about it from that level, you're having some type of energy exchange with the man that you're with, and if he is unaware of his emotions, unaware of how to process that, he's going to then dump that onto you, and then you as the woman just take that on. And as women, we tend to do that. We tend to take on for other people. We're like, it's all good, we've got this. But really, it creates a breakdown in the system eventually. And I think that breakdown is showing up in our reality as all of these dis-eases, all of these incoherent messages in the reproductive organs, which is the sacral chakra, which is the second chakra. So Joe speaks about this a lot. Not this, but the second chakra, the energy center, the second seal, whatever your like language is around it. If there's an incoherent message in that part, so if you think about like the heart and this energy center, it's going to be picking up on certain frequencies. And if you have in your sacral an incoherent message, that is going to send that message to that energy center, to that chakra, and that chakra is going to produce something from that energy signature and that frequency. So it's going to send information to the cells that this is now what we do. And it's just not your shit. It's not your shit. And as women, I'm just like, I'm so fed up with us taking on everyone else's stuff as our own, and like we have to process it. So this is a really, really powerful thing to start to realize. It really forces you to actually think about who the fuck you're having sex with, because it's like, dude, like what are we putting our bodies through, and is it worth your health? Is short-term pleasure worth your overall health? No, like it's not for me. For one, have very high level of self-respect, self-love, and self-worth. And then choosing your intimate partners from that centered place versus just fucking anyone and experiencing this really deep incoherence in your energy body, in your physical body, and so on and so forth. So this is what I wanted to share. This is what I wanted to touch on more. You know, I think it's a huge topic in itself, but this is just a really easy way for you guys to start to digest it. So hope this makes sense. Please reach out to me if you have any more questions, and yeah, I look forward to sharing more of this stuff with all of you because I think it's really, really important. I'm really excited to get back into this work, and yeah, all right, blessings everyone.